Sinbad. I've been on many extraordinary adventures and incredible voyages over the years, but I'm going to tell you about my latest voyage, which was the most dangerous, most exciting, most frightening and most epic voyage of all.
We set sail from the busy port of Basra early in the morning. The sun was shining brightly and our ship was loaded with cargo and merchandise to trade on our journey.
We had only been at sea for a couple of days when we were caught in the middle of a gigantic thunderstorm.
The waves got more powerful and suddenly our ship started to sink down. I tried to hold on to the sinking boat, but I was dragged under by the furious ocean.
As I was thrown around by the waves, I wondered what had happened to the captain and my other crewmates. I looked around for them, but the last I saw of them was one hand coming out of the water, but then the hand disappeared and I was the only survivor.
I managed to grab hold of the ship's wooden mast and I floated in the sea for many days. I thought this was going to be the end of me.
Just when I thought all hope was gone, I spotted an island. Swimming ashore, I discovered that it was a beautiful island with plenty of fresh fruit to eat and an exquisite waterfall to wash in and drink. I felt like the luckiest man in the world.
One day I decided to build a fire on the beach and the earth began to tremble. What is going on? Is it an earthquake, I wondered. Then the terrible truth hit me. It wasn't an island I'd been living on, it was a whale. The whale was extremely unhappy about having a fire on its back.
The whale dived down quickly, taking everything on the island with it, including all the trees and me.
With that, I was back in the cold, lonely sea, swimming around and feeling exhausted. I was very worried and my life was in great danger.
Fortunately, the sea was calm and I was able to swim along without too much trouble. I met some pink seahorses who seemed very friendly. Oh!
It all got much worse when I saw them again with much bigger seahorses who were angry and aggressive. They chased after me and I had to swim as fast as I possibly could. The larger seahorse spat poison at me and once again I thought there was no escape. But just at the right moment, a dolphin appeared from under the sea. It asked me if I wanted a lift, so I carefully climbed on its back and rode rapidly away from the vicious spitting seahorses. I heard some birds calling in the distance and I knew I must be approaching land. The next thing I knew, the dolphin dropped me off in a dark cave. Sparkling in the darkness, I saw some precious jewels. This could be a way to pay my way back home, I thought. I hid behind a large rock and watched. The jewels were being guarded by a fierce and fuming dinosaur who spent every day and night marching up and down, keeping a very close watch on the jewels. I slowly tiptoed my way closer to the jewels, but it seemed as if the dinosaur could hear every tiny step forward. Silently, I crawled low along the floor until I was right next to the jewels. I waited for just the right moment. But just as I grabbed hold of the sparkling jewels, the furious dinosaur spotted me and chased after me, making a deafening roar. After leaving the cave, I met a horse who was very unhappy. "Why the long face?" I asked. The horse explained to me that he had been captured and tied to a tree. "Who did this to you?" I asked. "He told me that he was being held hostage by an evil, criminal mastermind, the horrible gangster known as Pink Octopus."
I decided I would try to help. I knew from my previous adventures that octopuses don't like whistling, so I started to whistle cheerfully.
"Stop that hideous racket," squealed the octopus. It couldn't stand the noise, so it quickly moved away. The horse was very thankful because I rescued it. It came close to me to tell me that he was the favourite horse of the friendly old King Marcia, whose palace was very near close by. "If you return me to the palace, I am sure you will be very well rewarded," the horse whispered. I started to daydream about all the treasures that the king might choose to give to me for saving his favourite horse, and I felt very excited.
So off I went to the king's palace with the cheerful horse. The horse explained everything to the king, and the king was delighted to have his horse back. He stroked the horse's head.
"You deserve a reward, young man," he said to me, and he gave me a huge treasure chest packed full of shiny gold and precious stones and dazzling jewellery. It had been a very tiring trip, so outside the palace I sat down by a tree for a peaceful rest. Just then I saw a familiar figure approaching. "Sinbad, is that you?" he said. "Sinbad, surely not! I can't believe my eyes!" I was stunned and amazed. It was the captain of my ship. "I thought you were dead," I told him. "Well, I thought you were dead," he replied, and we laughed loudly. "Ha ha ha!" "I don't suppose you need a lift back to Basra, do you?" he asked. We gave each other a hug and set off towards his boat. We sailed across the oceans all the way back home. Of course, we had many more adventures on the way, but far too many to tell you everything. I don't have time to tell you about the time we got attacked by a killer blood-sucking parrot, or the time when the captain's legs were eaten by a snake, or the story how I fell in love with a beautiful mermaid, or how a baby flamingo saved my life, or that time when the captain and me were held hostage by an evil gecko, or